Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. Today, I have Jennifer Smith here, a.k.a. the Hope Dealer. Super excited to have her here. Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome. Thanks for inviting me. I'm really excited to be on the podcast with you because I know how much fun we're going to have today hanging out with you.
I always enjoy a conversation with you. So again, thank you for coming and being here. So Jennifer Smith, she is with Lawyers Title, and she is one of the best in the industry. She's a sales executive there.
Thank you.
For those of us that haven't met you yet, have a moment and introduce yourself.
I am Jennifer Smith with Lawyers Title. I am a sales executive. I've been a sales executive for a year now. I have escrow background, which I've done title and escrow for 30 years. So I pride myself on giving realtors, lenders, information, resources to help grow their business. And having that escrow background doesn't hurt at all because of the fact that I know what's going on the background of your transaction, where I can jump in and help if you need help or give you an explanation of what's going on. So I am your all-around sales executive and hope dealer as well.
Right? So I know you have definitely helped me a lot in answering some questions and explaining exactly what title is and some of the nuances that goes behind it.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about what title is and why it's so important for the real estate transaction.
Oh, absolutely. Title insurance is the meat of our business. And what I say about that is that's why we're in business. And title insurance is the insurance to a homeowner that they're the rightful owner of the property, so that nobody comes knocking on the door saying, hey, this is my house, it shouldn't have been yours, because we have done all the background check, basically a background check on the property to make sure that the homeowners that were selling the property to you had the right to sell the property. And we make sure payoffs, bankruptcies, IRS liens, we make sure that is taken care of, because of the fact that sometimes people turn around and they say, oh, well, I'm just going to sell it to my neighbor. They don't need title insurance. They're okay because of the fact that they know us. Well, they may know you, but they don't know what's on that property.
Yeah.
So that's what's important.
I've heard some horror stories out there, like just people pretending to be who the seller is. They get the information online and then they sell the property out from the actual righteous owner.
Yeah.
And then other things that come up on the property where maybe there's a mechanic's lien on there, and now the buyer who bought the property is now responsible for $100,000 or what. So
absolutely,
those are the things that you guys look for?
Those are absolutely the things that we look for, because of the fact that this is the most important purchase a homeowner will make, or any individual will make. We want to make sure that when you're investing $500,000, that is rightfully yours. And there's been fraudsters out there that take people's identities, right? Identity theft is very, very rampant. We also make sure that bankruptcies, when people have bankruptcies, you can't sell the property without the approval of the bankruptcy court.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Also, IRS liens, if people are behind paying Uncle Sam, you can't get away from it. They can lien your home. So in those instances, though, that is what our responsibility is. Our responsibility is to make sure those are taken care of. Okay. And if you get title, or if you get a property, a deed, without getting title insurance, you're just taking a big risk.
It makes complete sense. And now I know, like, even during like refinancing, like, you have to go through title still. Is that also the same thing where it's a protection there in case anything's popped up in between the time that you purchased and then?
Okay, absolutely. So what happens is we protect the lenders when there's a refinance. So you may hear, I'm going to have to bring it up, that some lenders are saying, oh, we're just going to rely on an attorney opinion letter. I don't know if you've heard of that, where there is no title insurance on a refinance. That is absolutely, I'm not even speaking on behalf of a company. I'm just making sure that you are aware that when you do title insurance or a refinance without title insurance, you're still taking a risk. And if lenders are relying on an attorney opinion letter, then if something does go wrong, that attorney is going to have to forfeit that $500,000 if that's the refinance amount. So, and then one of the things that we didn't talk about is that I'm the American Escrow Association's president. Okay. So we stay on the forefront of that information of what's going on Capitol Hill to be able to speak on that as well because of where we are.
It's super important. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, and great that you have like the forefront of being right there and being active in that. That's
absolutely.
That's awesome. Yeah. I did not know that. another fact that I got to learn today.
Another feather in my hat.
So you stay very active in the community, in real estate, and involved. You have your Hope Dealer session every Thursday morning.
Correct.
Tell us a little bit about that and what you do to, what you bring for that.
So I thought it was a great way to be able to bring some value to the realtors that I've met. We'd meet with realtors, we say, oh, these are our resources, but then we leave. Like we shut the door, get in our car, and we say, goodbye, we'll see you when you bring us a transaction. But my thing is accountability and then repetitious. So a couple of realtors and lenders and I said, well, why don't we meet for accountability every week? And the accountability is more so of a session of what's working, what's not, and what have I learned new over the week of meeting with other agents. So if I'm learning something new, I want to share it with the agents. I want to share it with lenders and explain to them what's going on. And the way I got Hope, the Hope Dealer, is after I meet with people, they give me reviews, right? Testimonials. And I use ChatGPT and I said, what's my value added out of all of these testimonials? And ChatGPT, I named him Alex, said, Jennifer, you give people hope. And so I'm like,
that's great. I love it.
Dealer. And now my slogan is I'm Jennifer Smith, the Hope Dealer, because everybody needs a little hope.
Yeah.
And as we gather together, we encourage agents. Some agents are like, hey, yes, I door knocked, or I sent out these flyers and this is what's happening. This is the response I'm getting. And then it gives the next agent hope that they can do the same thing. Because I'm working with agents who are successful and some who are just starting out. So it gives that camaraderie that, yes, this works. And then it also means that, yes, you can do it as well.
Well, and I love, when I've taken part and been in it with it. I love that you have people in different states and, like you said, different ranges from being new to being seasoned, being in the industry. And it definitely helps everybody instead of just being there in your own office and getting the same people. Now you have a bigger, broad range of people that are actually there wanting to succeed and bring those things to it. So I know, you have definitely given a lot of ideas and sparked things. I thank you for having me in there and answering some questions and everything as well. So I've learned so much from the other people and everything in there. You've talked about the technology that you have. I know Lawyers Title has a lot of technology that you've brought to help realtors succeed in the business and to help renters become homeowners and teaching them there. Tell us a little bit about that.
So we have, like you said, we have a lot of resources. And one of the resources that we do have as a title company that is, I want to say, like on the cutting edge of being able to help agents and give them some resources is a farming technique, right? So we talk about farming. All the coaches talk about farming. All the popular realtors talk about farming. And
for the new agents, what does farming mean?
So, and farming means taking a territory and saying a home subdivision, maybe where your address is, taking it and concentrating on getting business.
Okay.
So we want to call it farming because you're nurturing that area, just like
You're not going out milking a cow.
You're not milking a cow. That's a ranch. A farm is actually
growing corn. Sorry.
Yeah. We're not going to try to have you grow wheat and corn, but we are growing the nurturing, and where people want to say, I want to use you as the realtor, right?
Okay.
And it takes time. It takes, just like a whole crop, it's going to take time for it to grow.
Yeah.
Okay. So my thing is that we want to be the mayor. If any of the great coaches, they call it the mayor of your neighborhood. And so at that time, when you're nurturing your neighborhood, you are actually sending out postcards, right? You're having open houses. If you don't have a listing in that neighborhood, maybe you're doing a community event so that you are the first person that they think of when it's time to list the house, right?
You want to be top of mind. Yeah.
Top of mind. And little known fact that I'm hearing throughout the whole social media and coaching and podcast, that 81% of the sellers who sell their home list with the first agent they meet with.
Oh, wow.
And so if you want to be that first agent that they meet
Better
with,
be in the neighborhood.
Top of mind. And I say that 100%. I believe it. When I ask agents, and I asked this question when I was sitting at a desk, when I actually am working with the sellers, like, how did you meet this agent? And then they would say, by a magnet. He's always sending out flyers, or she postcards, open houses.
So it works.
Yeah, it works, because you don't always have to just talk to your friends and family, right, to get the business. I've done lots of multi-level marketing where they're like, talk to your friends and family. But
your sphere of influence.
Now you have a neighborhood that you can actually talk to, right? You get into a great neighborhood and you start farming. So my suggestion, or my resources that I have, is we have a farming tool to help you navigate around, who do I want to talk to? Right? Do I want to talk to buyers? Do I want to talk to sellers? Do I want to talk to investors? How can I figure out who's most likely to sell? Right? And then with the age of modern day technology, we can also be able to determine certain who are most likely to buy as well. That doesn't come from
that crazy?
Yeah. They call it data mining. So all of that information that we're giving out all the time.
That's true gold right there.
Yeah, it's definitely gold, because of the fact that we're so free of giving out information. Like, here's my phone number, here's my email address, here's my address. And that all goes into this database, right, where people then take it and analyze it. And with modern day technology of AI, they can analyze this and then be able to use it to
pinpoint it in and target into it. Yeah.
So I think it's an inexpensive way. Some people say, it's so expensive to do this, but where are you getting it, right? What else are you doing to be able to get it? You're not going out on TV. Who's watching ads anymore, right? Or radio.
Yeah, the only ads are on social media now.
Exactly. So there are inexpensive ways for you to grow your business. And trust me, if you look at the greats of the coaches out there, the realtors out there, they are doing simple things where you're like, why didn't I think of that? Right. And it's just simple.
And those tools are there. You don't have to recreate the wheel, just utilize it and use it, right?
As everyone says, take massive action. So and that's part of the hope dealer as well. It's to go, okay, I'm going to take action on this. It's not going to cost me thousands and thousands of dollars, right, a month, to do the simple things of, I'm going to send out a postcard. I'm going to door knock. I am going to do a video where I can then, with all the data mining, I can then turn around and post it on social where I can target this audience in my neighborhood. And if you don't know how to do that, come talk to me because I can help you.
Absolutely. And you know what the best thing that I think from this technology is too, is people that are utilizing it, they can create a better transaction for the buyer and seller because you're really targeting in on what their needs are.
Yeah.
And so you can address it like that. So you can become a better realtor. You can, as a buyer, you can find yourself somebody that is going to help you the way you need them to. As a seller, the same thing. And so it just really helps with, again, that hope for everyone involved in the transaction and just that's our goal at the end of the day, is just creating so much happiness and getting everybody what they need.
Absolutely. And when you talk about that, is when you're the mayor of your community that you're farming, then everybody knows. They know that you know the model. They know that you know the playground. You know that they know that you know the schools that the kids are going to.
You're the professional in the area.
So everything that, and I tell people, get out there and learn about it. So there's certain areas in town that are a lot of fun to have a home in. Get out there and tell people about it. And don't just concentrate on the home. Yeah. Concentrate on the community.
Yeah.
So.
And that's
it's huge, right?
It is huge. So what advice do you have for maybe, first off, realtors? Let's start with realtors and then maybe go into the buyers and sellers. Like, what advice do you tell them as they are going through a transaction and they're looking at a title report or getting out there and trying to find business? You gave the farming is a huge advice for them, but tell us a little bit.
So, of course, we're in the business of title insurance. Listing agents, number one, when you list a home, make sure you get a property profile, because I could talk about this for days about doing your homework first, because there are certain things that you need to pay attention to when you're taking a listing. Number one is who you're talking to, right? If Jennifer Smith and John Smith are on title and you're only talking to Jennifer Smith, well, where is John Smith? So number one, 100%. If you're dealing with a trust or an LLC, make sure you take a copy of those documents, again, so you know who you're talking to. When we talk about fraud, even get their driver's license.
Yeah, you don't know, you're some random person coming up meeting, and so many people are breaking into homes, and you could be meeting with somebody else that's not.
So get a copy of their driver's license. Yeah. And then as a title company, and title companies are taking the precautions, preliminary steps to identify people by their identifications. Awesome. So realtors, make sure you prep your clients for that. Hey, they may need to see your driver's license before we move on because of that fact. And it's the only thing we're doing is trying to protect your client and the investment. Yeah. So as a buyer, though, when you are doing a transaction, what you need to be aware of in your contract, there is a clause that says that you will get a preliminary title report. And a preliminary title report tells you the condition of the title, our background that we checked. Just take a glance at it, because in your contract, it says that you deem that everything's fine and that the seller doesn't have to perfect anything. So, but you have, I think it's 10 to 15 days, I can't remember exactly, to tell the seller to fix things. Okay. So if they're have an IRS, they have a bankruptcy, hey, Mr. Seller, what are you doing about that? Most likely the seller knows, but that's something that as a seller and as a buyer's agent, to make sure that you are looking at that preliminary title report. If you need a class, I can help you with that. Perfect. So that then you know what to look for, because, oh my goodness, we have prelim classes with all the junk. So then
it's amazing to see what comes up on those title reports. And and
then people are, how do you clear it?
Yeah, where did that come from? Yeah. Now, what about for like buyers on ways to hold title? I know that's one that not a lot of people talk about, and that's one of the things that usually comes up later on in the transaction. And everybody's scrambling, oh, how are you holding this title? And oh, I was married. Like Nevada, it's a community property state, and well, I'm married, but I haven't seen my husband in 15 years, right? So
even when there's a seller too,
the same thing, right?
Like stories happen, but. Let's talk about the buyer side. Actually, what I will do is, I think this is going to be on YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay. So, well, yeah, of course, right? She's all, yeah. But I could drop a flyer.
Okay.
Like maybe I can give you a flyer of how to hold title.
Absolutely.
How to take vesting. Because we definitely don't tell people how to take vesting. Right. But since Nevada is a community property state, we encourage that you have some sort of vesting. So it's either husband and wife as joint tenants or husband and wife as community property with the right of survivorship. Those two have the community interest in it, where you have to have jointly both of the partners, spouses to sign off. Okay. Or even if it's you and me owning title, we wouldn't be husband and wife, but we would be on title as joint tenants. So we need both parties to sign off. Okay. So that's important. But when you're in a loan, so let's say you're getting a loan and the husband and wife, the husband's just going to be on title, then we need a deed from the spouse. We call that a spousal deed. So then the husband can take title as husband John Smith as a married man as a sole and separate property. Okay. So wife deeds off her community interest. But since Nevada is a community property state, does the community interest ever go away?
I don't know.
It doesn't.
That was a question.
It doesn't, because you still have joint checking accounts. What did you do for the property? Did you pay for the paint? Did you pay for the plumber? So when it all
came down to it, if something bad happened and you decided to separate ways, well, you're still going to fight for it.
Yeah, you still can fight for it. So because there's community interest, I took care of the kids, all sorts of things. So that's a whole legal thing. But to make it simple, there are vesting ways to vest so that you can protect your interests, especially in the event of death is usually the whole thing. A whole nother class of what can happen. As well.
Yeah, on that and changing it. And if you end up putting your house into a trust, which is always recommended to do, but a whole other conversation about another
planning.
hour.
We could talk about that all day long, but I will drop in the flyer. So if you have any questions, especially for your buyers that are coming on title, and then you're like, hey, how do you want to take title? They've already seen your YouTube video, and drop it into the folder so you can see it.
It's definitely important because, again, things just come up all the time on it, and as soon as we ask the question, we see something on the loan application. Oh, you're single. Well, somebody will put that they're single, but it comes up. Oh, well, again, I haven't seen this person. I haven't seen this person in
you're
5 years.
Have to find them.
And if they don't, if they keep wanting to say no, even if they haven't seen him and they've been filing their taxes as single head of household for all these years, that person could come back and have rights to
your property.
Get your property. So it's definitely important to address it the right way and get everything done. So,
and there's always exceptions. If there is some exceptions that they're married and you have to close, there could be exceptions that we would make that would show on your title policy, so that if Mr. Husband comes back after 15 years,
and that's what you look.
We're like, well, we're not going to make that claim on it, so we're going to waive our overinsured or indemnify. I think that's the word for it. Indemnify that we're not going to be responsible. You're going to have to go get your own attorney for that. And title insurance, it helps you that way, right? It makes you aware of things that you're normally not going to be aware of.
Right.
So most of the transactions are cookie cut, right? Let's close. Let's get the house, write the contract.
We hope
get it into escrow, get your loan, close. But every now and then, and that's why we're here, there's something that comes up.
Right. Work through it and get the transaction done, because at the end of the day, helping the buyers and the sellers close the deal and accomplish their goal of either moving on or buying their first, that's what we're here for. So
absolutely, 100%. So.
Well, I appreciate you again coming through here and taking your time to tell us a little bit of the title side and then what you do to help real estate agents. I would say that Jennifer is definitely one of my biggest inspirations in the industry, and just what she does with everyone and how she inspires everyone is absolutely amazing. And I'm very honored to have her as one of my partners here in the industry and a good friend of mine. So again, thank you for coming, and I look forward to doing more of these with you.
Yes, this is fun.
Anything that you want to say before we go?
Well, Tanya's out there and she is an amazing lender. So absolutely, I've seen the clients that she's brought through, and she tells people like it is, how it is. And they're so grateful and hopeful as well, because I've seen some of the refinances where people are like, I paid this and now my payments are this amount, and they're happy. And I don't get any people that are disgruntled, because Tanya actually communicates with her clients. Not saying that all lenders don't, but we flock together, so it's great. So if you're out there looking for a lender and you stumbled on to this YouTube video, definitely call Tanya. She can help you out.
Likewise. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate everything. And wishing you guys all a great day. Thank you again for joining us. And I look forward to seeing you again here soon.
Bye.